And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and welcome to a very, very cold October the 19th. Starting this morning out at 33 in downtown Meridian. As we go north to NAS Meridian, it's already 32 at the freezing degree mark. Keep in mind, normally the temperature will fall a little bit between now and the next 30 to 40 minutes. So we should hit freezing here before long, is what I expect. Colder tonight, as we look for a low tonight to be 30. Still under a freeze warning this morning until about 9 a.m. We'll watch what happens tonight. We are expecting a frost. Let's go ahead and look at radar as we begin today, as we pull up Meridian Honda radar, just to show you some of the temperatures across the area and through the state. Hattiesburg clocking in at 33. Macomb has 37. As I mentioned here in Meridian, out at Keyfield, 33. But as we go to NAS Meridian, we're looking at 32. Also at the freezing degree mark in Jackson. Now, you get to Stark, Vegas, where the kids are, 32. But look at Columbus Air Force Base as we're hovering at 28 degrees this morning. That's real cold. As we go further into the state, let's see, we've got 27 in portions up here right at the line, at the Tennessee line. Also, we've got about 30 degrees there. So it's back and forth, a very cold morning for Mississippi as we begin today. Bundle up as you go outside, especially if you're a little on the cold side like I am, and, well, just can't take that cold weather like you used to. Good morning, Miss Nancy Burks. Glad to see you watching us from Carthage, Mississippi. Mary Godot is up. Also, Mike Dallas, Becky Vickers, a whole bunch of y'all. Sheila Lang, how are you? Glad to see you doing good. Clarence, good morning. This already Wednesday as we get nearer and nearer toward we've got Halloween. I couldn't get it out of my mouth. You know how your brain's trying to think. I couldn't get it out. But Halloween right around the corners. In most cases, it's still going to be held on October the 31st. And there's going to be a lot of festivals in between now and then. But keep in mind in your daily travels of kids, when they get excited over candy and they want to go to parties, they'll be running a little bit more and they can dart out in front of cars. And we don't want any incident. So just be prepared for the youngsters over the next few days. How's the word, excitement is in the air. A lot of hay rides and this, that, and the other going on. We want you to keep those little ones in mind. Well, let's get a good note for the day and start it out. Let's go to Collinsville. Get a word from Brother Ben this morning.
Anger can be such a destructive emotion. But as long as you don't kill somebody, you're cool, right? Well, Jesus tells us we better think again. You see, he's not just concerned with our destructive hands. He's also concerned with our destructive heart and our destructive mouth. Even if you never lay an angry hand on that man in real life, imagining doing so in your heart is wicked. And while you might not ever bash that woman with your fists, bashing her with your words is sinful as well. Instead of destroying that person, Jesus has a better idea in Matthew 5:24. Work out your differences in a peaceful manner and reconcile with him. Sound impossible? Well, God makes all things possible. How different would our community be if we really tried Jesus' way first? Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Always good to start the day on a good note. Let's see. I see that Lindell, Texas is watching in this morning. Ginger, how are you today? Glad to see you out there. Chunky, Dana Maxwell is up. I'll see if I can catch one of the guys to come in this morning to talk to us about fires. We've had 2 incidents in the last 24 hours that I won't, what's the wording? The families have lost everything they have. We had a fire in the middle of the night out on Haguewood Road, Fred Haguewood Road, which would be out in the Causeyville area as we pull up a map here this morning to take a look at this. Right in this area, right in here on Fred Haguewood Road. As we look at the structure fire there that destroyed a home in the wee hours of the morning this morning. Keep that family in mind. They will most likely need help as well. Now, we had another fire yesterday afternoon on Collinsville Pine Springs Road. I do have the sizes of the family if you'd like to help them out. I'll post that in just a little bit, but this time of year is just horrible to lose everything you've got. Their home went up in flames. They were cooking, and the next thing you know, it spread to the entire home. By the time the fire department arrived, it was too late. Just awful. But we do have some sizes. If you live in the Pine Springs area, the West Lauderdale area, the family's going to need a little help. Again, I've got the sizes of everyone, and we'll post that here in just a little bit so you can help out if you can. We would appreciate that. Always just scary this time of year. Keep in mind of watching things. Test your heat. I hope you've done that before now, and just turns bad. Do not have anything near a curtain. Hopefully we'll get someone to come in and talk this morning. We had an accident yesterday afternoon, Highway 45 South near Clarkdale. If you saw this, headed south toward Quitman, or if you live in the Clarkdale area there, this would be right here at Luther Walker Bottom Road, right in that area there in the southbound lane is where that was, and they had to divert traffic toward going in by Clarkdale School to go around the incident. I do hate it when those things happen. They just pop out of nowhere accidents, and we do hope everybody is okay. We had another one. The ambulance had to be called to in Meridian yesterday, 17th Street, 19th Avenue. Another little fender bender that, well, paramedics had to be called to the scene. We hope everybody's okay on that one as well. Always keep in mind at every red light, every stop sign, triple look. It's just one of those things. People get caught up in what they're doing and don't pay attention, and through a red light they go. I see Chet's up, and Chet knows all about that. He works on cars every single day that sort of happens there. So be extra careful. Now, we had another incident yesterday afternoon. It's one of those that doesn't happen very often. But a pole was on the back of a trailer, and as a truck made a turn, it struck a gas pump. And miracles do happen. As it hit the gas pump, it took it out. Gas started coming up, and then the safety valve fired off and stopped the gas from spewing everywhere. Didn't turn out like the movies where it keeps going. Thank heavens. That worked out well. Emergency management team and all the volunteer fire departments arrived, and there was nothing to clean up. That is good. I was not aware that gas pumps had safety devices like that. Most of the time when it deals with gas pumps, somebody, somehow or another, the clicker gets hung, or they've got it and they drive off and rip the nozzle out, that type of thing. So that ended up pretty good there. We had another wreck, and this is just a common area, 2 or 3 places that we always have them. We have them there on 39 there at Marion Road by Dairy Queen, then up on 39 by Hardee's. And this is fast becoming the next biggest little fender bender joint in town, right there by Popeyes. A unique picture that we got of the wreck of a side mirror there. A car and a truck ran into each other there. And again, that right there by Popeyes. So if you're in that area, always at lunchtime of people trying to get across the traffic there. So keep that in mind if you're ever in the area. Decide you want some chicken, it might be best to go down and take a left into the big parking area there, Broadmoor, and come back out. Slows you down a little bit, but well, not as bad as a wreck would. If you have not gotten your COVID-19 shot, they are going to be doing this in the city of Meridian at the Velma Young Center. They're going to do this on Friday at 2400 16th Avenue. So if you're looking to get yours and you haven't got one, thinking you want it, that's where to go to. As we start looking around things that are going on in the state, we go down to Smith County, which is due west of Meridian. As you're headed toward the Jackson areas, where Smith County. And I borrowed this story from my friends over at Dark Horse Press. As they pass along, and I know the Smith County Sheriff's Department's also got this posted, of a gentleman that was arrested for alleged abuse of a vulnerable person, meaning most likely somebody elderly or someone who can't take care of themselves. He had several charges as we pull this up. In the jailhouse now he is this morning. Yeah. And also we've got another one there that we got from Warren County. Also, our friends at Dark Horse Press was on top of this. Somebody arrested for fentanyl and marijuana as they do the mugshot there. Always remember, if you're planning on doing something odd that day, to always look your best for mugshots. Make sure you just dress there and put a big smile on. Mugshots. That's just a whole other story altogether, isn't it? Whew, boy. We see that in Oxford, Mississippi, an apartment complex. Shots were fired. One person was hit. We don't know much more than that at this point. Police are investigating. We keep up with Oxford. We keep up a lot with our areas around Stark Vegas. So many people have kids that go to school in those areas, and we try to keep you up to date with what's going on in those areas so that you know where your kids are. So as we get more about that, it was off Molly Bar Road is where that happened. I'll keep you in the loop on all of this. As we get ready for Saturday, and in the state of Mississippi, it's a big day. Maybe in the state of Alabama, they're going, not that big a deal. Mississippi State will take on Alabama this weekend. We do wish them luck. Could it be 2 in a row? I'm not sure. What are I don't know what the Vegas odds are on Mississippi State at this point. But we wish the Bulldogs the best this weekend. Hopefully they'll do good. And for you Alabama fans, odds are probably in your favor, most likely. But it should be a good game. They're always fun. Hope you can watch your favorite college game as it comes in this weekend. Vicki Stewart, how in the world are you? I see Jerome Lee is up stirring a little bit. Hope you've gotten your coffee and you're at it as well. Kathy Drees, good morning to you as well. I'm in a pretty good mood. I've had my limit up to 6 o'clock of 3 cups. Get started early here. And this goes back our next story. Now there's crimes, and then there's crimes that you ought to just be ashamed of. And we head to that one as we go to Louisville, Mississippi, Winston County, just due north of our area here in East Mississippi. As you get up here, just west of Macon is where we'll go. A lady has been arrested, a woman. Why? And again, this is those crimes that cross a line that I don't understand. A religious building was set fire and burned. It was actually like a thrift store that helps the needy, where you go donate your items and they give to the folks. You know, like we had a moment ago where somebody loses their house in a fire and they give to those that need. Then they sell things to help needy and people like that. Set on fire on purpose. They've got it all on video. They had a mobile home out back in the building, set it all on fire. She's been arrested. I just don't understand. Arson is what the charge is. We go to west, as far west as you can go in the state of Mississippi. Warren County, over near Vicksburg, is where we go for our next one. Police passed a Buick speeding. They turned around and began chase. He just didn't want to stop. He kept going until he wrecked. He sideswiped an S10. The police came up to the window and he refused to get out. Now, do you really think that's going to keep the police out? No. They bust the window and pull you out. That's exactly what happened. He's been arrested and sent to the Warren County Jail. Just if you're getting that urge to think you can outrun the cops, go ahead and open the door when they get there. When they got you, they got you. Has anybody watched the video? I've watched 2 or 3 different ones, and all down the Mississippi River, this is starting to come to light. The river is low. We all know that barges are hung, and they can't go up and down because the water level is so low. Even down in Natchez, that new liner that was cruising the Mississippi River can't do anything because water levels are so low. So what does that mean? Things start coming to the surface. They have found some boats and things that they didn't know where they were. Shipwrecks, old ones on the edges there. Found one that was probably about 1915 that they're inspecting, taking pictures as they can before the water goes back up. There's no telling what else lies on the edges of that mighty Mississippi, is it? It's probably not. Interesting, though. I've looked at 2 or 3 of those. Always enjoyed watching what's under the water. It's just fascinating what rivers and oceans have claimed. As we look at this, we don't know all the details behind it, but we go to Stark, Vegas. A firefighter has been indicted, a former firefighter, let me word it that way, for embezzlement. Well, what could a fireman take? Well, he was using a city truck for personal use. Doesn't explain exactly what he was doing with it. We can only assume maybe some type of business, and that is an assumption, but that is considered not to be right. A lot of people reported it. They did an investigation, and then they made a arrest on that. He'll be charged and have to pay something for the use of that vehicle for personal gain. And the next story, arguments. As we look at this, we go to Alabama for this next one. Anybody know where Florence, Alabama is? Maybe you're watching from Florence this morning. And people that argue, I guess it's just always going to happen, but the Tennessee-Alabama game, which was really good. I missed it. In the last few moments of the game, as we all know, Tennessee would win. They would take the field, take down the field goal. Everybody was excited. First time in years. It was a lot. I can't remember if it was 16 or how many years, but it was a lot. Well, two friends had watched it together, and, well, they just didn't get along after that. They commenced to arguing. He went to the street. He went back home. The neighbor went and got a pistol and shot up in his house over it. He's been arrested. Now, what makes you want to do that? Florence, Alabama is where it all happened. Now, no one was hurt, but that's beside the fact. All over a ball game shooting in someone's home. I just don't get it. As we start branching out, it's 16 years, LaWanda said, since Tennessee beat them. Why you want to do that? Thank you, LaWanda. I do appreciate that. Uh-oh. Andy tells me that Alan Jackson picture back there is correct. Y'all see the crack in that picture? Yeah, I dropped it with everything that I've had behind me, and we won't have that when we move to the new studio. I'll move all that stuff somewhere else. I've destroyed half of everything I ever had. But in that picture, I don't know if you could see this, but back in here, that was probably 1990 at an event. Tim Dubois is standing in there. He was the head of that record label that started that for Alan. Alan was really someone who had just started. It was at a golf club, and we were invited over. I think there was 40 people there. Alan walked around. It was really not much to it. It would be about 3 months right after that picture was taken that Alan would be national-wide. What a great guy. If you ever get a chance to meet Alan Jackson, he is everything that you've ever known. Such a gentleman and a scholar. You'll like him. He's one of us, as we say. As we start looking at some headlines this morning across the nation, Google has given a name to it. New York City. They've got, well, Tent City. They've already named it on Google Maps as Tent Cities. They put this up for all the migrants that are being shipped there. Each tent's holding about 500 people. Now, I can only assume, and this is an assumption, I don't know this, with the lack of police officers that they have in the city, what do we all think is going to happen in these tent cities? Can't be good, can it? I would think that crime would run rapid. You just can't get 500 people together without there being some issues. I don't know if New York at all has any security there. It may be the most policed place there is in America, and I just don't know it. Just thinking out loud. We'll watch that and see if we get reports from New York. I don't personally know anybody from New York to get direct information from. I've bumped into a few people on airplanes, but I don't know them personally. Fear is in the air as Putin, as most people say, he is getting prepared to launch one of the most awful bombs there could ever be. We'll watch this as they're getting ready to nuclear war. Hopefully that will never happen. Microsoft, as we start looking at economies and different things in America, Microsoft laying off 1,000 employees to where you couldn't make Americans 6 months ago go to work. Now, good chance they might not have a place to go to. It's not good. I don't like that any more than you do. It's just signs that are out there. I've never watched this guy for some reason. And there's people that you see on television, y'all know this as well as I do, that for whatever reason, you just don't click with them, and maybe you don't watch them. Conan O'Brien. My first excuse is it was really late, way past my bedtime, and he just didn't seem to be the type of guy that thought like me. And I have to almost watch people that have the same ideas I do to really enjoy a show. But I'll give him kudos on this. If you've read all the stories about this James Corden, or Cordan, how you pronounce his last name, being so ugly to waiters in New York, he's the host of a night show, rude, and they banned him, and then he apologized and they let him come back. I have to give kudos to Conan. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know where his parents come up with that, but that's just thoughts. But he fired an employee once for being rude to the wait staff. They represent your company. I'll agree with him on this. No matter where you go, what you do, when you're away from work, what you do represents the company you work for. It has to be a line in the sand of having a little humility and taking care of mankind and not being ugly and rude like that. So that a boy for him to taking care of that at one point of somebody that was just downright rude that shouldn't have done that. We got your forecast coming up in just a moment as we begin this day. Donna Roseman, how are you feeling? Vicki Stewart is up. Glad to see you moving a little bit there also. We'll be right back as we continue our morning bright and early this morning in the 30s, believe it or not. That's all up next. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings this week. Red, yellow, or orange bell peppers, 2 for $3. Fresh blueberries, $2.99 a pint. Halo mandarin oranges, a 3-pound bag, only $6.99. Sweet onions, a 3-pound bag, $3.99. Boston butt twin pack, $1.59 a pound. And certified Angus beef ribeye steaks, family pack, just $12.99 a pound.
And we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Back in 16, it was 92 today. We're drastically different from that. Back in 48, we had a record low today. Started it out at 30 degrees. We're 3 degrees above that this morning. No record set. We'll see if tonight breaks a record or not as we look for a low to be right at 30. That's what is predicted. We'll see if it holds true or not. Today, expected to be 62. Sunshine will be coming as soon as the frost burns off in most areas as we go north. Philadelphia, about 61. And the further you go up, 15. A little bit cooler as you get near Stark Vegas, 60 and 59 in Eupora. As we go west over to Vicksburg, still holding at 62. Natchez and those areas between there and Brookhaven, probably 61. With the further south you go toward the coast to get a little warmer into the mid-60s. As we go east into Bama, we're looking at 60 in Livingston, Alabama. The same in Demopolis. Burmaland, looks like 59 today. I bet it still hits 60, doesn't it? I think they're exaggerating on that a little bit. As we look at today, the frost, this is what we've got. Temps will fall as we move into tonight, actually, is what this is predicting. This was last night as well. But temperatures, all of this area will somewhere be between 28 and 32. Be prepared. As we've said many, many times, don't wait on this. If you've got something going on, make sure those pets are absolutely warm. Any of them that you got, from goats and billy goats. We had some of those on the roadways yesterday. Continued fire danger moves in for today as we pull this up to take a look. Make sure not to burn right now. Things can get out of hand, even a cigarette. Don't let your trailer chains drag the ground. They spark, can cause a fire. You wouldn't believe just how many of these little small fires get reported each day, grass fires, all along the interstate and small areas as well. Let's see, as we look at our 6-day, 10-day outlook, temperatures will be a little bit warmer as we pull this up. As we headed toward the weekend, we're going to see some 70s here. A cooler front back out to the west in California making its way across. Let's go ahead and pull up our 7-day forecast. And what do we have? Those 60s today. As we mentioned tonight, again, a heavy frost with a low of about 30 degrees. So it's going to be chilly and cold. By tomorrow, temps start warming up. 66 with a low of 42. By Friday, we'll go into the weekend with 75. Saturday is 77. And by Tuesday, we're hitting the 80-degree mark. Now, that's pretty warm. That's that little warm front we saw coming across there, across the state there, warming us up. We got a 20% chance of rain on Tuesday of next week. And as we pull this up and we go on into Wednesday of next week, if you're a deer hunter, you have not got your seed in the ground, make sure to have it in the ground this weekend. It looks as though our best shot of rain will be right there on Wednesday with a 50% chance of rain. So get it while you can. As we move into Saturday, another small chance, 30% chance on next Saturday, a week from this weekend of that. We look all the way to Wednesday, November the 2nd, with a high of 74. We're not going to see any 80s after we get past this coming Tuesday. So not bad at all as we make our way toward November. So what will it be? Short sleeve shirts for Thanksgiving or cool? I think most people would bet their money on short sleeve shirts. As we look to the tropics, well, not really anything going on. Thank heavens, zero out there. This has been one of our calmest for the Mississippi, Alabama, Texas coast and Louisiana that we've had in years. Florida got beat up kind of bad there with that one storm. But for the most part, these areas here, one of the lightest years we've seen so far. Now, it's not too late for something to happen, but we're hoping that this kind of fades away and we don't hear much out of it. What's the fishing today? Well, let's head here and take a look as we turn to Chet's Paint and Body. 8:30 this morning. If you want to go out and grab a rod and reel, take somebody, and enjoy yourself, till about 10:30. Got a 2-hour window there, some great time. Now, the wind's going to be calm, becoming northwest around 5 this morning. Not bad at all there as you plan your day of what you're going to be out doing there. We're coming up toward the top of the hour. I do want to mention a few things here. Let me go back and that are happening in the community. And again, we always urge you to let us know of what you've got going on the 20th, which is going to be tomorrow. Clark County, some PSAs that are happening there. The candy crawl that will be at the Clark County EMA. Hope you can make it out that. Kids come by, give them a little candy from 5:30 until 7:30 for our friends in Clark County as we look there. As we keep coming down, let's see here. We've got the Queen City Race for Life and Street Strut that will be coming up on this Saturday, the 22nd. That'll help out a lot of cancer patients there. That's a very serious thing that happens in our area. Now, don't forget, we've got a parade in Meridian. If you have not signed up for it, talk to them. They're going to be out full thing. So much going on in Meridian with this weekend. I even see where they're going to have a corn toss championship game downtown. A great prize coming up with that. Back Porch is talking about that. But this will start at 6 p.m. come Saturday night. Hope you can make it down for that. Prizes. Check it all out there. This weekend, downtown Meridian. It's good to get together and have events like this. Downtown Meridian is where it will happen. Let's see. On the 22nd, Oak Grove Baptist Church is having their fall festival. If you haven't made it out to them before, they'll have this going on. Again, if your church organization has got something good like this going on, let us know about it. We'll be glad to spread the word and let a few folks know about this as it rolls in. End of October is here. Vicki Martin, good morning. Glad to see you there. All right, we'll be back in an hour and 3 minutes from now as we'll kick off the morning show. Candace will be in. We'll have a lot more stories and things that have gone on in the middle of the night and things that are happening today that we're aware of. Can't do it without you. Share your stories with us. Again, if you'd like to help the family on Pine Springs that lost their home, I've got some sizes that will get posted here in just a little while. Always does good to help somebody when you can. We appreciate it. We'll be back in just a few as we continue your day at the Scotty Ray Report. Thank y'all so much.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: